So we finally bought ourselves the ESD mat that we should have bought a long time ago. But finally it's here. And we also bought this ESD wristband. Here it is. And it's pretty simple. You can change the length a bit and it slides on just like that. So finally we are able to protect the components inside the console a little bit better during service from electrostatic discharge. Now we just need to fix a way to connect the mat and the wristband to ground or earth. This is quite easy, but you have to know what you are doing. And the earth or ground is these ones. And these are the connectors, the Schuko connectors we use here in Sweden and a couple of other countries here in Scandinavia and Europe. If you don't feel 100% sure of connecting things to the high voltage system, you should absolutely not do this. So we'll be using this cord. It's the green and yellow one. And that is the standard color code for ground or earth here in Sweden. And that's probably the standard in other countries as well, but I'm not sure. But here in Sweden it's the yellow and green, that's earth. And I only connect this one so that I know that this connector is only connected to earth, not the electrical outlets. Here we go. We have the wire connected to the middle inlet. And we just tighten the other screws so there's nothing loose inside here. Okay. So there we have it. And it's kind of good to have this yellow and green cable free, just this one cord of the cable, so that you visually can see that this is not the normal cord for the electrical outlet. And now we need to attach the other side to something that makes it able to connect these. What are these called in English? In Swedish they're called krokodilklämmor, which could be translated crocodile clip. I doubt that's the correct term for these ones. So please let me know in the comments. I'll be using some materials that I'm having laying around in this workshop. I am having this one left from a kind of a Dremel tool, which would work perfect for this. And we will use something like this, which are made to attach cables to the wall. Whip it around. And just to be super clear about this, we make this sticker that's saying ESD Ground or ESD Earth. And just to be super clear, we also mark the connector with this neon light. Beautiful stage tape. There we have it. The last step is to just make sure that this one actually is connected to Earth and not to any of the other poles. This one here, the metal. There we have sound. There we have sound. No sound here. And no sound here. That's exactly what we want. Perfect. So let's connect this to the outlet. So now we are able to connect the ESD mat with these clips to this connector that we just made. And we're also able to connect the wristband to the same place. So now we can feel a little bit more safe that there won't be any electrostatic discharge from our body to the electronic circuits that we are going to work on this mat. So this project is very much about learning by doing, getting to know the console by restoring a couple of things that has to be taken care of. And if you watched the last video, we changed one of the two batteries inside the console. And after the last video, I have learned two lessons. The first lesson is that we changed one of the batteries in the console, and we changed it to this kind of battery, which is completely wrong. This is a lithium battery, and we need a rechargeable battery inside the console. So this is totally wrong match for the console. So we have to replace the battery that we have replaced. Yeah, and fortunately we have not plugged in the console at all after the change of the battery. So there's no harm at this point. The second lesson we learned was that we pulled out 14 channel strips to get access to the PCB with the battery. If we just have looked on the backside of the console, we would have seen a pretty big service hatch that we can open and that way get access to the PCB with the battery. So that are two lessons learned. And that was something that we didn't know before we started this. And learning by doing is the important thing for us in this project. So today we are going to replace the battery that we already has replaced. So let's get started! Wow! Here we have it. I mean, this is so much easier to get their hands on. Oh man. This is what it looks like. And here we see all the channel strips. And here is the PCB that we pulled out the last time. And here we have the new battery that we are going to change. That was quite a different view and a lot easier to get your hands on. Okay, yeah, we are learning tons of things in this project, I'm telling you. Oh man, and here we get to see the VU meters. Oh, beautiful. We're back at the workbench, and since we are going to replace the battery one more time, I thought it would be a good idea to improve it a little bit further. So why not just put a connector on the cable? So when it's time to change battery, in about 10 years or so, we can just pull the connector, pull the battery out, and solder it in a separate space. And I'm having a couple of contacts here from a previous project that I thought we could try out. They'll be laying here for years and I can't even remember where they came from, but I think they will be pretty perfect for this project. And it's kind of the same connectors that are already inside the console. Let's see. So these one would be really nice to have when switching the batteries. And I think we'll just mark both sides so we know here's the positive, here's the positive. So this is the first time I'm working with these kind of connectors, so we'll see how it goes. I think I would like to solder these ones actually. I think these ones are made to just be squeezed with a special tool, since we don't have that special tool, but I think we'll solder them instead. Yeah, let's bring the soldering station. There we have it. So I guess we just squeeze these ones a little bit anyway. This is the marked one, so this is the positive. That should go inside there. It seems like that when we push it in, these ones will make it stick in here. So once it's in, we won't get it out. Okay, so let's try to push it and see that's what it's all about. There, it seems like it's in. Marked wire, that's the positive, and we have the positive mark there. Okay, that seems to be the way to do it. There it's in. Okay, it looks pretty good, I think. Okay, so here we have the new battery that we are going to solder, and here we have the original battery. So they have the same footprints. They are both 3.6 volts. This one is 100 milliampere hour and this one is 140 milliampere hour. Let's get to it. And we have the positive is the double one. Difficult to use this one maybe. So put some and the marked one is the positive. Positive, and the marked wire goes to positive. I keep repeating this over and over because it's better to double check and triple check to make sure that it get it right. There we have it. Maybe just make sure that it goes all the way. And the polarity is correct. Excellent. So, and this one fits perfect into the can. There we have it. Then we just need to fix the connector on the cable that's still on the console. Okay, so there is one thing I have been thinking about so much since we shot the last video. When we pulled out the PCB and took away the first battery, there was one tiny trace that I was afraid would have been broken by the battery acid. So I checked it and it was perfect. It worked. But I never checked the thick trace from the negative pole of the battery. And I haven't been able to stop thinking about the thick trace that I never checked. So now, when we have the service hatch in the back gun, it was quite easy to get the PCB out, and now we are going to check that fat trace to see if it works or if we have to fix it. So here we have the PCB out, and let me show you a little bit closer. We have been checking these thin trays that worked just fine. But here we have a thicker one that we actually never tried. So let's do it right now. Let's check the one that we already tried, the thin one. As you can see, it's working perfect. Now let's try this one. And here we have no sound. Just let me try from a different angle. No sound at all. Okay, so this one seemed to be broken. But I also wonder, where is this one going? And it seems like there's a Cooper ring, so that this one goes to the traces on the other side of the PCB. So this one seems to go to this side. It's probably a bit difficult to see in the camera, but this pole seems to be connected to the traces on the other side of the PCB that's going here. Just check that to make sure that's the case. Yeah, there we have signal. So it's continue on the other side of the PCB. So it seems like this pin is supposed to be connected to the first leg of this capacitor. So we will probably need to bridge this gap with a wire. And since it's not super clear where the traces are going, I will make to double check that before doing anything. And I made a short video and put up on the big internet. And we got a super fast reply from Mike Baker, who have supported us in this project from the very, very beginning. So big shout out to Mike and from the rest of you who also watch these videos and comments. Soldering station on. So let's put this jumper wire in place here. I don't want to apply too much heat to it, so I think this will do. Carefully bend it. Yeah, that's better. Let's check the two traces once more. We have the thin one, and it's still working. But let's turn it around and see it actually connects with the capacitor. Ah, nice! We got connection. Oh! That was kind of luck that we actually checked this trace. And my guess is that this trace has been broken for years and not been working. So the battery here has not just been damaged, it has also, if it has been fine, not been working at all. But now it's taken care of. Finally we're making steps forward, and yeah, it feels good. Now we just need to hook on the connector to the cable for the new battery. And since you already seen the process of attaching the cable to the connectors, we'll just speed up the process a little bit. So there we have it. Now it should be a lot easier to just connect the battery to the connector. And just to make sure, we check the polarity once more. The negative, and we have the positive. And it's perfect! Woo! Okay, so finally we got the first battery good to go. It feels so good that I actually listened to my mind and made a double check about the thick trace that actually were broken and have been broken for a long time, I guess. And now it's fixed and it's working. And the new battery in place, the correct battery, and the polarity is correct. Double checked everything. That's it. We're fine. We're good to go. Finally. So now we just had to put the PCB back into the console, connect all the connectors, and close the hatch. So we're back where we started. The service hatch is back on, the battery is taken care of, we checked the traces, and it's such a relief. It might seem silly that we have to redo things, but I mean, it's the first time we do this kind of project. And I think it's important to make sure that you have done it properly and on the same time learn so much valuable thing that will be so useful for the future work on this console. We are so happy that you have watched this video, and if you haven't already, you are so welcome to hit the subscribe button and the like button on this video. And we would love to hear from you. Write something in the comments. It's really inspiring from us to hear from your stories when restoring similar consoles. In the next video, we will be having a look at battery number 2. That is really a challenge. But at this point, we have a plan for how to do this, and we have a plan for how to getting the PCB out. So until then, have a good time. Take care of yourself, your family, and your consoles. Make tons of music, and we'll see you in the next video. Ciao!